Hello, welcome. Let's not mess around. Let's get straight into these forks and see what on earth's going on. Brum, 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 brum. This is where we left it last time. So we think we've got one good fork leg, but behind it, obviously, one tragically bent one. You can see the far fork leg there is bent backwards. Look at that, you can see how far that one's bent back. So let's get it off. Have a look what can be done. I think we'll start with this nice little plate. I don't know what they hit, but it must have been very solid. I'm thinking it was a pole or a lamp post. Nice little plate. Possibly the only bit of bodywork that's not damaged. Yeah. Lower yoke clamp bolts. Yeah, let's get them out. I'm completely freestyling. I mean, I could download the manual or something, but that would be way too easy. Ah, this is bent. Can you see how that bolt is waggling the Allen key? Look how that bolt is bent. Not a great sign. Oh, this one's bent as well. Interesting. Look at the waggle on that as it comes out. Oh yeah. Look at the bend on that bolt. Oh dear. We've also got the big Allen bolt right on the top there. Oh, weirdly, that's loose. At least it's straight. I think that tightens into the top of the fork leg itself. So technically, is that fork loose now? Technically, there's not much that can hold a fork in because it's a round tube. It's not like you can just sort of fill it with holes and put bolts in it. You can clamp it with the yokes and you can unusually put those bolts in from the top. Now this shroud, I can see sort of lipped over the yoke or lower triple tree. So I don't think that can move. I think this fork has to come out. Okay, we might be going to look at the manual. I can see this clamp is still, looks like it's quite tight. I might put a screwdriver in there just to work that open a little. I think it's coming. Obviously twisting it doesn't help because that doesn't twist the stanchion, but it sort of feels like it should do something. Just going to make sure this bike's not going to collapse on me. That looks like it could go painfully wrong. It's coming out slowly. See if I can wedge a screwdriver in there. Let's just try and force this clamp open a bit. I know it's coming out because it's come out this far. Ah, there we go. There we go. Let's have a closer look. It's got loose in this brake caliper. Because that's stuck to the fork leg. Lots of thread lock in these, making them nice and stiff. Okay, so look at that caliper. It moves freely, so it's not seized, though it is a bit grindy, so that'll be getting a proper service. I'm thinking that's possibly had new pads, because there's quite a lot of meat on those. Right, bye bye caliper, don't need to see you at the moment. Let's get this other fork leg off. Oh, I forgot these handlebars are loose. Right. Relatively loose again. Now, I don't think this one's bent, so this might come out a lot easier. No. Let's do the screwdriver again. I'm just using this to split the clamp apart. There we go. Ooh. Right. Forks out. Let's get these on the bench and have a proper look. Right. If we have a look what I'd call the good fork leg, which was from the right side of the bike, just by giving it a feel along its length. I think that one is okay. When it's rolling, there's absolutely you can't feel any dips or wobbles. If you look along it, it all looks quite good. Move smoothly. No leaks. In fact, let's get a straight edge. It's a bit hard for you to tell, I know, but that's not rocking or anything. If you turn it around a bit. There's a small bit of distortion. This is a very cheap metal rule. Turn it around again. So if there isn't anything going on bend-wise there, it's imperceptibly small. Definitely would not stop me using that. So one good fork leg. Right, let's compare that to the other one. Here we go. Now watch that now. I don't know if you can see, but the end of that, look at that, up, down, down. Because that fork leg is absolutely bent. You find a way that that's obvious. And if we zoom in, very sadly, you've got a crease where it bent and it's damaged the steel surface. Now there are places that will straighten motorbike forks for £70, but sadly, once it's creased, it's scrap. They won't straighten that. If it was just a smooth bend, they can fix that. That's quite a normal thing to do, especially for racers. There are workshops that just straighten forks. That's their sole business. But because of this crease, that sadly is scrap. So I definitely need at least one new fork leg. Now, if this was something critical, I mean, if, you know, maybe this motorcycle was the only thing that let you keep your job, or you just needed it to get to what you just had to have it working, I'm sure you could actually straighten that and use it. Obviously, the crease makes a terrible weak point. But if it's the difference between transport or not, and it was an emergency, that's something you could do. Let's have a look with the straight edge. Let me try and get this so you can see. If I hold that up, you can see that gap, look. Yeah, there you go. Probably even worse than that. So, at least we know now. One scrap fork leg. But one good one. Very sad. But never mind, I kind of expected that. Just the way it was such a harsh angle. I thought this would be bent. Well, it would be bent, but I thought it would be creased. Now, has it damaged the yoke? Right, let's take the rest of the front end off and have a look what's going on. And I'll get looking for a new fork. Right, we've got a little 10mm bolt holding this indicator clamp on. That's going to help us get further in. Ironically, these indicators, which is the last thing you'd suspect to survive all this damage, are completely unscathed. Both sides. Very unusual. Okay, I think the casquette has got to come off, although that's temptingly loose. Let's have another wiggle. Let's get this off first, because it obviously wants to come off. So let's look at that. So this is all really loose, actually. But obviously I imagine there's a lot of wires and things holding this all on. Aha! So that just slides out. So it's got a top part and it's lower. It just slides over the yoke. Let's see if we can get the bottom one off. Yeah, here we go. Two of them. At least apart from paint, these aren't damaged. If they were, I might have replaced those with gaiters. So that would be a nice little fix. Right, what's going on under here? Ah, the clue's in the front. Let's look through the headlight. Dope. Oh, that's tight. This is plastic, by the way, in case you're worried about me cutting my hands on the glass. Although I'm sure it's quite unpleasant. Okay. Out it comes. Yeah. There we go. Don't think there's going to be any use for that. Even the bulb's broken. ashtray or something. Oops. Right, to the scrap pile with that one. Let's have a look in the Cave of Horrors. I'm guessing you have to pull off some multi-plugs, especially off that speedo. See if you can lift this off. Okay. Got this big bundle of wires here. Right. Let's move back a bit. The indicators are free. Can I unplug them? Yep. I recognise that connector from the Meteor. One indicator. That was just clamped around the fork leg, such as it was. Off you come. The other indicator, I'm guessing we got a similar connector. There it is. This red one here. Got it. Wow, actual undamaged parts. A small bushing just dropped out then. Where that came from. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Okay, there's a little red tooth on the speedo connection there. So hopefully, if you pull that back, that will come off, or perhaps it goes up. No, I don't think it goes up. Red tooth comes down. Then there's a push lever. That's it. So pull the red thing down and then push that black tongue inwards. So that's the speedo. And there's going to be two connections for these tiger lights, which are that one and there's going to be another one. Definitely going to need this video to see where everything goes. If you're wondering why that's just lit up, it's because the bloody battery's in. I should have taken that out. Tiger Light 2 comes down there. And another grey one. Just there. Right, what else is holding you on? Not the ignition switch in this case. Any chance of coming off? Oh, nearly. There we go. That's cast aluminium, isn't it? Nice that it's made of proper metal, not plastic. We'll have a good look at this in a sec. Right, what are we left with? There we are. Let's have a look under the casquette of a classic 350 Reborn. Obviously, top yoke or triple tree. Big Allen bolt through the top into the forks. Down through the lower. When I was tapping it with a screwdriver, that was to force this clamp apart, so the leg came sliding out easily. Now there's a slight, very slight displacement in the front of this. I think that's been bent down, but I think that's quite fixable. And that's what bent the bolt. So the fork was bent massively backwards, and that pulled this front edge down and bent the bolt. And that's where the ignition switch was mounted. Down through there, you can see the broken remains of it. Looks like it fits just like the Meteor. In fact, it might even be the same part. And this is the steering lock collar, and you can see where they damaged that when they originally stole it. Speedo connection. And two bundles of wires that just kind of live. Pushed into the back there. With a headlight at the front. And there's quite a bit going on here, and I want to take more things off. The more things I can just take away from the bike, the less confusing it is. Until it comes to put them back on, of course. So, under here we've got a metal plate, which looks like its sole job was to mount the other little metal plate that said Royal Enfield on it. I'll put those bolts back in for now. Because on the Meteor it sure was hard to remember where everything went. But I think it's pretty much there. Nice little bracket. Now, we've got a plastic shield here. Which covers the back of the casket. I can see we've got a sensor screwed to it. I wonder if that's a tilt sensor, because it's wired to the wired to the clutch switch? No, that does go to the USB sensor. USB, I know what that is. I bet that's 12 volt in. That's a drop down circuit for 5 volts out for the USB socket. That's what that is. Got 2 screws? Yes. And if I look on the back of it, what does it say? It says a lot of numbers. Okay. Right. Will that come out? Right. It's the rear shield. I'll pop those 2 screws back in. Okay, so that's the front cleared out a bit. I'll take this swing arm off, not because there's anything bad, but just it's just easier to clean if I take it off. Okay, caliper's free. There should be a little levering hole just under here. At the front. There it is. We've got a little bolt that holds this cap on the swing arm. Little poppers at the back. So I'll leave that off for a sec. And the same the other side. Is this swing arm bolt going to give any trouble? Being a year old, I'm not expecting it. But if this was an old bike, oh yeah, full of grease, mind. There we are. Just have to pop the spindle out because that's trapped around the chain there. We'll leave everything attached to that for now. There we go, swing arm. That was well greased. Fair play. That's the bearing pin. Not roller bearing, just sleeve bearings. Lots of nice grease on there. Let's push that sleeve out again. Yeah, it's getting shorter and shorter, guys. Right, let's spin it round my fancy table. Right, just pop the sprocket cover off. You can take the chain off. Same length. There we go. Sprocket cover off. Not too dirty. Chain gone. How does that sprocket look? So, a bit worn. You can see on the drive side where it's pulling the chain how the teeth are worn over. So we'll be having new chain and sprockets, like on the Meteor. Don't know if I'll go for gold this time though. Yeah, look at that one, look. It's like a robber's horse. Yeah, new chain and sprockets for there. There we go, pretty good progress. At least we know about those forks now. And the back is out, so we can get cleaning on that. I'm going to do something uncharacteristic and try and keep this video less than an hour long. So I'm going to keep working, but we'll stop this one right here and just click ahead if you want to see the airbox and electrics removed, because that's what I'm going to do right now. So stop looking and just next video will show you the rest. Thanks for watching.